Welcome, and before we get started, let's do a nice gentle warm-up and check in on our posture. So I want to make sure that throughout this whole course you have a nice gentle bend in those knees. We're not locking out those knees. And as well with our posture, we want to be engaging those transverse abdominis, those muscles right along our spine, along our belly buttons. We want to be engaging them. So doing that, I want you to think that we're hugging baby up and in, or that our belly button is coming right into our spine. Checking in on our low backs as well. With pregnancy, you'll find we're going to pitch forward. Think of your pelvis as a glass of water, and we're going to tilt it forward, tuck things in. Once again, bringing baby up and in, bringing that belly button up and in towards our spine. Now that we're going ahead and getting started, let's take a great big deep breath in. Knitting those hands together. And on the next inhale, let's lean it off to the side, feeling a great big stretch along our lat muscles, down our sides. And on the next inhale, let's bring ourselves back to center, leaning over to the other side, really opening up our left sides. And we want to feel a nice gentle lengthening. You should never feel pain, and I don't want anyone to ever bounce in a stretch. Just gentle lengthening. All right, let's go ahead, opening those arms up nice and wide, opening up that chest. If you feel like you need a little bit more, go to a door frame, place your forearm along it, pressing forward and through, just opening up our chests. So much of parenthood is so crunched together, so we're just trying to open things back up. If we're on a door frame, switch sides. If not, keep those hands nice and wide, nice power stance. And then let's go ahead and do a very gentle forward bend. If you are able, see if you can touch your toes. If not, just opening up a nice stretch along our hamstrings. Hands on those knees or wherever you are comfortable. On the next inhale, let's bring ourselves back up. And then very gently, we're going to bring ourselves down to the ground. This stretch is called the world's greatest stretch because it stretches so much of our body all at once. We're going to step forward with our right leg. Bring our hands down beside it to the left. And if you are able, you can open up to the side with our lats. Feeling that stretch down our glutes, down our hamstrings, up our back. Very gently, let's go ahead, switching sides. Left foot comes up. We're going to place our hands to the right, pressing forward through those hips. And if you are able and you want to, let's open it up. Bringing ourselves back down to center. Let's keep those hands right up in front of us. We're going to do a little bit of that core work here. Knees are bent. Backs are nice and flat. We're going to do some cat-cows. So first up, I want you to drop your belly to the floor. We don't have to round our back too hard. Just kind of letting go of all that tension. And then on the next inhale, I want you to bring baby up and in towards your spine, rounding like a cat, hissing. And then let's exhale, drop it down. We're going to rock through a couple of these, bringing baby up and in, then dropping down. We don't have to round that back too much. Just engaging. And then disengaging those transverse abdominis, those muscles of our deep core. Alrighty, one more time. Perfect. Very gently, let's bring ourselves back up to standing. Adding a little bit more movement, a little bit more dynamics to our warm-ups. Let's take our hips and open them up. So we're going to take our right leg and then our left leg, almost like we're treading water. Knee is going to come up, out, and down. If you have the space, this is a great one to travel across the room. Do 4 paces one direction, coming back the other. Or we can do it standing in place, depending on what your space allows. All right, let's go ahead, switch directions. So we opened, now let's close. Bring the knees up, over, and in. Getting things moving, things are getting a bit more dynamic. All right, 3 more of these. Then one last movement of our dynamic warm-up today. We're going to do our A skips if you have the space, or they're just going to be high knees. So bringing our left elbow to our right knee, coming down, switching sides at whatever intensity is best for you. And once again, this one can travel across the room for those A skips. So we can hop it up across the room, or it can be done in place. And with intensity, just like with our cardio classes, we always want to be able to talk. You might not be able to sing at some points, but we always want to hit that talk test. That's kind of our sweet spot for intensity. If you're finding it's getting a little too intense, ramp things down, grab that water, take a break whenever you need. 3 more of these. All right, let's go ahead, grab that water, grab those weights, and we'll be back for the working sets. Our workouts this session are going to be based on the 4 fundamental human movements with a little bit of core added on the end. So let's go ahead and get started with our first movement. We are going to be squatting. So you can grab that weight if you are comfortable, holding it like a nice big old chalice. Let's point those feet away and drop it like a squat, like you're sitting down in a chair, pressing through those heels up for some nice sumo squats. And this can be done with or without a weight, depending on how you're feeling. I just want you to focus on those knees heading in the same direction as those toes and pressing through our heels, squeezing our bums on the way up. Strengthening that posterior chain, strengthening those booties, which will help with low back pain, sciatic pain. It's all about the glutes. 10 more seconds of these, and we're going to get right into our push movement. So stopping those feet, we're going to do some single arm overhead press. So we're holding baby up and in, bracing with those abs, soft bend in those knees. Let's go ahead. 1 arm at a time. We're going to press through the ceiling, keeping that base nice and square and strong. And remember, with that intensity, you want to be able to talk, but no singing. You don't want to hear me sing anyways. All right, let's switch hands. Other side. Keeping those bodies nice and square. Our knees have a soft bend. We're hugging baby up and in. And remember that cup of water that is our pelvis. We don't want to be spilling it out the front. Nice and square, neutral spine. And 3, 2, 1. Next movement, we're going to go ahead and do some bent over rows. So if you've got that chair nearby, go ahead and grab it. And we're going to bend over, gripping it with our left hand. And like we're starting a lawnmower, bringing that elbow up to the ceiling. And remember, we're going to keep those shoulder blades knit together like we're holding a pencil in between. And this movement is slow and controlled. Strengthening those backs, strengthening that posterior chain, helping with that kind of balance that we've lost. Everything's happening up front, so we need to strengthen the back. All right, let's go ahead, switch sides. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it for our bent over rows. Our last movement of the circuit. We're going to do that hinge motion, those deadlifts. So holding that barbell, you can either hold one in each hand or holding another one just like this. We're going to twist those legs together like we're screwing our feet into the floor and guiding that barbell along those shins, then hinging at the hip, bringing it back up for those deadlifts. Really strengthening those glutes. All about those booties, helping with that lower back pain, that sciatic pain. And I want you to watch my chin. See how I'm kind of giving myself a double chin. You want to be looking at the floor about 6 feet in front of you, lengthening that posterior chain. And 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. Let's grab some water, take a 2-minute break, moms, and we'll see you again to do it one more time. All right, we're back for round 2. Let's screw those feet into the floor, drop it like a squat. 1 minute of those sumo squats. Tracking those knees above those toes. Dropping those booties as far down as we can. Pressing those heels through the floor. And remember, let's check in on our breath. Are we able to talk? Shouldn't be able to sing, but are we able to talk? 20 more seconds of these, and we're going to get right into those overhead presses. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Shake those legs out, getting right into it. Overhead press. Keeping those bodies nice and square. What are we doing with baby? We're hugging baby up and in. We're going to switch arms in 10 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Switching sides. It's really great to train things asymmetrically, because then we can address any sort of muscular imbalances. Our dominant hands like to take over. So we're giving that non-dominant hand a try to even things out. And 10 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's drop it down. And we're going to go ahead and get into those bent over rows. So finding that chair, pitching forward about 45 degrees. And let's bring those arms up like we're starting that lawnmower. Slow and steady, nice and controlled. Like we're starting that lawnmower, but you're pinching that $1 million check in between those shoulder blades. All right, let's switch sides. Driving that elbow up to the ceiling. Squeezing with those lats, those muscles along our back. And 10 more seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop it down. One last set of this circuit. We're going to get into those deadlifts. Let's screw those feet into the floor. Outwardly rotating those femurs. Dropping that weight along our shins. Driving through all 4 corners of the feet. Hinging at the hips, bringing up. Really checking in. What is our breath doing? What is our posture doing? Are we hugging baby up and in? Are we making sure that our pelvis isn't pitched too far forward? We're combating that lordotic curve of our lower spine. 10 more seconds. We're almost there. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, moms, that's circuit A. Go grab some water, take a quick break, and then we're in for circuit B. All right, now that we're nice and hydrated, let's get right into circuit B. First up, we're going to do some thrusters. So for this one, we're combining those squat and that pushing movements. So go ahead, grab that weight. We can do one in each hand or just one split between both hands. Feet are about shoulder width apart. Dropping it down like a squat. Pressing it up at the top of the movement. If you can, let's smooth it out. Pressing to the ceiling, dropping it like a squat. Really checking in, what are we doing with our posture? What are our abs doing? What is our breath doing? We've got 25 more seconds of this one. Then we'll give that whole body a break. We'll do some flies. 15 more seconds. All right, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, if you have a band, you're welcome to use a band. We can also do this with weights. We're going to do some reverse flies. So if we're using that band, taking it underneath our foot, gripping it equally on either side with our pinkies towards the ceiling, bending forward as much as our bodies will allow. And let's bring those arms up. Those pinkies to the ceiling, spreading our wings. Then dropping them down, resisting the band on the way down. If you're using dumbbells, that's totally fine. Just make sure those pinkies are leading to the ceiling. And we're pinching those shoulder blades together on the way back up. If this gets a little tricky, we can always do it one-sided as well. Whatever modifications you find your body needs, feel free. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's drop down those bands. This is our hinge movement for this circuit. Keeping those feet nice and wide, really big power stance. We're going to point those toes outwards, away from us. We can either do one weight, two weights, or one weight like this. Screwing those feet into the ground, we're going to sumo deadlift. So dropping that weight to the ground, soft bend in those knees, driving forward, squeezing those glutes. We're going to sumo deadlift, bringing that weight up, tucking in that chin, forcing ourselves to have a double chin, and strengthening those glutes, strengthening those posterior chains. Take a drink of water every time I say glutes in this course. You'll never worry about hydration ever again. And we're hinging forward, bring those hips forward and through. Hugging baby up and in, checking in on that bucket of water that is our pelvis. It's not spilling out the front. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, moms, grab that water. Quick little break, and we'll do the circuit one more time. All right, moms, let's do circuit B one more time. First up, dropping it like a squat into those thrusters. Combining that movement with our pushing movement. Working smarter, not harder. And the more body parts we combine in a movement, it works our cardiovascular systems more as well. Dropping it down, pushing all the way to the ceiling. Dropping those shoulders away from those ears. And remember, we're hugging baby up and in, bringing those belly buttons inwards and towards our spine, towards that diaphragm. 15 more seconds and we'll get into those flies. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dropping those weights down, trading them for barbell or for a band if we'd like, or grabbing those weights and we're going to pull them apart, bringing those pinkies to the ceiling. Almost like a reverse hug for those bent over flies. Remembering to breathe. And we're hugging baby up and in. 20 more seconds. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last set. Holding on to both dumbbells if we'd like, or just one. Feet are in a nice wide power stance. Turning those toes away from you. Let's drop it down into some sumo deadlifts. Checking in on that posture. What are our bellies doing? What's that pelvis doing? And tucking in that chin, forcing ourselves to have that double chin, looking 6 feet ahead of us on the floor. 20 more seconds. Then we're going to do some core, and then we're cooling it right on down. We've made it, moms. And 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1. Let's drop those weights down. We have done it, moms. Grab those waters, have a great big drink. Meet me back here on the mat for some core. All right, we're almost there, moms. We're gonna do a little bit of core. We're gonna cool things down. But first, let's start off. We're gonna do some modified push-ups. If you were able to do them from those toes, congratulations, you're stronger than me. But we can do them from our knees. Remembering to hug baby up and in. Nice flat back. Let's drop it down. Modified push-ups. Just 30 seconds of these. Just strengthening those chests. Helping our core stay in alignment. We're hugging baby up and in. And 10 more seconds. All right, from here, let's stay on those knees, on those toes. Let's square up a little bit more. Working on, once again, those glutes, helping with that lower back pain, that sciatic pain. We're gonna do some donkey kicks. So driving that heel, we're gonna send it all the way back, then back in, and that's 1 rep. We'll go 30 seconds on each side. Really think about driving that heel all the way behind you and keeping those hips as square as we can with the ground. We're not opening up. And remember, what are we doing with baby? Baby is being hugged up and in. Remembering to breathe. All right, let's switch sides. Driving that other heel all the way back. Moving with intention, moving with purpose. And 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's drop that knee down. So that movement we just did, now we're going to pair it with an extension of the opposite arm. These are called bird dogs. So that helps our core create stability in the presence of instability, which is sort of the extent of the core training we can do while we're pregnant or in that postnatal period. So we're squaring ourselves off. Let's go left arm, right leg first, all the way out, in the middle. Now let's switch. Switching. If you find it easier, we can do one side for 3 or 4 reps and then switch. Hugging baby up and in. That belly button is coming up and in towards our diaphragm, creating that stability in the presence of instability. All right, we got 10 more seconds of this. I'm almost done torturing you, I promise. All right, last one. Let's bring ourselves back to this quadrupedal position on our mats. And one more time, just like in our warm-ups, we're gonna do those cat-cows. So let's bring baby up and in, around that spine. Then let it go, drop that belly button to the floor. We don't need to arch too hard. Back up. Bringing belly button up and in, then relaxing it down. Up and in, relaxing it down. These movements don't need to be super dramatic, but nice and controlled. Belly button comes up and in, and dropping it down. 10 more seconds of this. All right, and that is it for our core. Let's cool things down, stretch things out here. I want you to go ahead, bring that right leg forward and align that shin so it is perpendicular with your body. We're gonna sit here for a pigeon stretch, stretching out those hip flexors, those glute medius. My favorite word, glutes. Switching sides. We're going to bring that other leg across, bringing that shin out in front of you. Other side. If anyone's done yoga, this is almost like a modified pigeon pose. If you are comfortable to get down on those elbows, you are welcome to. All right, let's rock off those hips. Back to center. We're going to extend our left leg in front of us. See if you can touch those toes, doing a little hamstring stretch. And on the next inhale, let's switch sides. Other side. See if you can touch that toe. If not, just drape those hands. Bring that chest to your quads. All right, let's bring ourselves back to center. And you can stay crisscrossed here or get up onto your knees. We're just going to stretch out that upper body. Thank our shoulders, thank our backs for doing all that for us. So first up, let's take that right hand, bring it across our bodies. We can hug it in towards ourselves or just let it hang here. Switching sides. Bringing the hand down beside us. Go ahead, knit those fingers together behind your back, dropping those shoulders away from those ears. Let's very gently open up that chest. Very gently, let's let that go. Let's bring our left ear to our left shoulder, like we're holding an old school phone. Switching sides, right ear to right shoulder. All right, let's bring ourselves back to center. One last time with me, moms. Let's go ahead, breathe in. Bring those hands all the way up above us. Exhale, fold to the left. On the next inhale, let's bring ourselves back to center. Exhale, fold to the right. Alrighty, this has been day 1. We'll see you next time. Make sure to grab that water. Have a great day.